I need a head unit and I want an Alpine. Alpine has been creating brand loyalty since the 80s and is our #1 requested brand for head units. We're going to go over and compare 3 Alpine double-din head units they have in their current 2023 lineup. In this series, we call Good, Better, Best. So if you're in the market for a double-din radio and have to have an Alpine, then stick around. Hey guys, my name is Josh. I'm with Breakers Stereo and Performance. Welcome to the channel that reviews, demos, and goes over the latest in automotive accessories like car audio, performance, suspension, and more. Because we don't drive stock. And if you're like us, where stock just doesn't cut it, then make sure to subscribe to this channel. Okay, so here are the 3 Alpine radios we'll be looking at. Good, the iLX-W650. Current retail price, $349. Better, the iLX-407. Current retail price, $449. And best, the iLX-507, current retail price, $649. So in this video, we're gonna go over each of the radios individually while letting you know what you get in the next step up. And don't worry about taking notes, we'll do a quick review at the end covering everything. Okay, without further ado, let's start with the iLX-W650. Now this radio has been in Alpine's lineup for quite a while, and at an entry-level price, it's definitely our #1 selling unit across the board. It's very reliable, and it has a bunch of great features that most entry-level head units do not have, such as a front camera in addition to the rear camera, and a 4-volt pre-op. But let's go over the features. This is a digital media receiver with AM/FM tuner and does not play CDs. This does have a shallow mount chassis and is designed to pair with Alpine's KT8-450, which is an Alpine Power Pack amplifier. Now this amp is a plug-and-play solution that will almost triple your power without having to pay for additional wiring and not take up room either underneath the seat of your car or in the trunk because it mounts behind the radio like this. Now this unit is wired Apple CarPlay and wired Andriod Auto. Built-in Bluetooth for phone calls and music streaming, and a USB port accommodates various devices and thumb drives. It's flat compatible and is a 7-inch capacitive touchscreen. Now your inputs include that rear USB port and the rear and front camera as mentioned before. This works with a Sirius XM satellite tuner, which is not included, and this has a 4-volt 6-channel pre-op, front, rear, and sub. Also a 9-band parametric EQ, time alignment, and built-in crossovers ranging from 20 Hz all the way up to 200 Hz in 6, 12, 18, and 24 dB octaves. Stereo control ready, adapter sold separately, external microphone included, and the built-in amplifier is 16 watts times 4 RMS or 40 watts times 4 peak. Now what's not in the box? Now the sound quality on this radio is excellent and has features many radios in this range do not have. Now as far as the screen is concerned, it is a little remedial, but I would rather have good sound quality processing versus a flashy screen. When this radio first came out, it retailed for only $299, such a great deal. But during COVID and the chip shortages and logistics, Alpine had to push the price up to $499. But since things have kind of calmed down, Alpine did bring the price down to $349. Not too bad. Now for a full review on this radio, we'll leave a link in the description below. Now warning, this was one of our first radio reviews done about 3 years ago, so the production quality is not quite as good. Nevertheless, the information is there. Okay, next, the iLX-407. Retail price is $449. Okay, so here's what you get extra, and surprisingly what you lose. Now the extras include HD radio, an HDMI input, which I think is important, and Alpine's proprietary bass engine SQ, and also the MIDI expander HD. This radio is Identilink Maestro compatible, and that allows for control and displaying of vehicle's information on the screen. On the USB, it bumps up from a 1.0 amp to a 1.5 amp. And the capability of playing 10,000 files on a USB drive versus only 3,000 on the step below. Now this definitely has a better graphic user interface with more aesthetically pleasing screens and a customizable home screen. Okay, but here's what you lose. You only get a 5-band graphic equalizer versus the 9-band parametric EQ you get with the iLX-W650. Now many people thought that this radio was discontinued and replaced by the 507, but it isn't. And because it was released a couple years ago, many people thought it should have had wireless CarPlay and wireless Andriod Auto built in at this price, and I agree. Also, one thing I don't like about it is the 5-band EQ. I don't understand how you can give a 9-band EQ on an entry-level head unit and then the step up only gets a 5-band graphic. Okay, but for a full review on this radio, we'll leave a link in the description below. Okay, and finally, the best in Alpine's lineup, the iLX-507. I really like this radio because it's packed full of features, and it also has the same software as its flagship Halos, the iLX-F509 and the iLX-F511. And you can expect to get continued support and updates for many years to come. And here's what you get extra. An HD 1280 by 720p display that is, by the way, outstanding, especially because the screen is only 7 inches. Music playback includes 96 kHz and a 24-bit DDA converter. Okay, the sound processing on this radio is second to none with an impressive parametric EQ. 5 separate EQs, 13 bands for the front left, 13 bands for the front right, 13 bands for the rear left, and 13 bands for the rear right, along with 4 bands for the subwoofer. This, along with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, plus the fact it has a 1280 by 720 display. This radio is pretty complete and ranks up there with the best name brand head unit on the market for this price. For a full review on this radio, check the link below. Okay, so here are the clip notes. On the iLX, the key features include Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 9-band parametric EQ, built-in two-way crossovers, time alignment, and front and rear camera inputs. With the iLX-407, you get, in addition, HD radio, iData-Link Maestro compatible, HDMI input, Alpine's base engine SQ and media expander, and a 1.5 amp USB. But you do lose the 9-band parametric EQ and only get a 5-band graphic. With the iLX-507, you get sound processing up to 96 kHz and a 24-bit DDA converter, 13-band parametric EQ for the front and rear, left and right, along with a separate subwoofer, 3-way bandpass crossovers versus just high and low, wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, and a dual USB, one being 1.4 amps. Okay, here are my final thoughts. Now, I really love the iLX-W650 at that $299 price. You got a lot for your money and nothing else on the market had as many features. But now with it being $349, there's a lot of value there. Although it could definitely use an overhaul when it comes to the user interface. Now, if you're in the market for an Alpine double-din radio without breaking the bank, then that's the one for you. But if you've got a little extra money that you want to spend and you would like a better user interface that's more visually appealing, and you're the type of person that doesn't need to tweak the EQ, then the 407 could be a good match. It does have Alpine's proprietary base engine SQ, giving you some EQ curves with the touch of a button without having to sit there and adjust it. Or if you're planning on running an outboard digital signal processor, then you wouldn't need that equalizer anyway. Now, for the person that wants it all, then the 507 is the way to go. You get all the EQing you could ever want with a beautiful 1280 by 720 display. The only thing that I think it should have had that I didn't mention is 720p on the camera inputs versus just an upscale 480. Also, if they could have squeezed out another volt from the pre-out, making it a 5 volt like the Kenwood Exelons and some of the JVCs, or even if they went to 8 volts like some of the old Eclipse radios, that would have been great. Beyond that, this is a very nice radio. If you're interested in any of these radios, we'll leave links in the description below, taking you directly to each product page. Now remember, we do have financing available. Simply add to cart, pick a financing option, get approved, and we'll send your gear out to you ASAP. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Again, my name is Josh. I'm with Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next time.